Oh, okay. I just like to say welcome to the very first podcast of the Real Woman, Real Talk. The space was created for women to express themselves and not be judged on the purpose and business of the real life of the life skills of being a woman. So today I'm in honor to be joined with Coach Toci, the founder of Mompreneur Academy. She supports families, moms to build businesses, as well as families to build life skills and just move through life. So right now, I want to offer Miss Coach Toci. So, thank you so much for joining me today. I guess you can see I'm a little bit nervous. But I would like to say, tell us about who you are.
Sure. So my name is Coach Tosi. As you've mentioned, I'm the founder of Mompreneur Academy. I help business owners save time and money by implementing AI tools in their business. And in a branch of that and an off branch of that, I also help moms with their financial skills so that they're able to be stay-at-home moms if that is what they choose to do. And the reason I wanted to found this company was because I knew before I have children, I wanted to be at home with my babies. That was a non-negotiable for me. So, from a financial services perspective, I had to think, how much money do I need to make each month for that to make sense for me and my family? And in the event that I don't have income for whatever amount of time, because pregnancy can be very unpredictable, how would it make sense even on my husband's salary? And so I founded Mompreneur Academy after I had my second baby. I was already doing the logo design, web design, and things like that for businesses, but I had not branched off much into the coaching aspect of things. And so Mompreneur Academy gave me that platform, and I focused on mompreneurs just because of that stage I was in my life, being a mommy and learning how to navigate life and business and all of those things. And I really did not want a corporate schedule to determine how I showed up for my children.
Okay. And then with all that, I know there were some challenges. Is there something that you could share as far as what challenge that made you keep pursuing your dreams?
So I would say I was wrapping up my hours for my clinical license. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. And I was wrapping up my 3,000 hours, and I just felt exhausted, like super tired. I felt burned out, and I was trying to figure out how can I change this? Like I don't feel like the job is for me anymore, where it once was wonderful for me in terms of the pay, the schedule and everything, but it got to the point where even just my 1 or 2 days of week going in person were too much for me because I just wanted to be at home with my kids. I hated getting up to go to work and then seeing my husband stay home. Like that really got under my skin. And at first I was okay with it, I guess, because I had just had my baby. My husband was like newly temporarily disabled when we had our second baby. So this was back in 2023. So it was like a full year that he wasn't able to work. And so at first it was helpful. It's like I just had this baby. I would have two toddlers running around here. Like I was happy that my husband was actually home. But then when I had to go to work and he was at home, I felt myself being like resentful because I wanted to be there with them all the time, not him. So on my work from home days, I'm still peeking in, making sure they're okay, trying to make lunch for everybody. And I wanted to be as much involved as possible. But I did it that way so I wouldn't miss any of their milestones. So the majority of my job, I would say 85 to 90% was remote. And then the 2 days a week I needed to be in person were to see clients and to see my staff if we had an in-person meeting. But yeah, that was a challenge for me, just like resenting my husband and wanting him to go back to work so that I could be the one at home with the babies. And it's not that I didn't want them to have that bond, I just hated that I wasn't there more. And so I had to leave that job. But I waited until I finished those clinical hours so I could meet that requirement. And then I made the transition out of work, and I've been out ever since.
Okay, that's great. I like that. So was there anyone in your life or in your, surroundings that had like asked you or let me see, gave their opinion that you wish you would have maybe used their idea to help grow it? But I know your business is successful, and I see how you talk to everyone, how you really listen, and you really take time to give the right implements. So, is there anyone that kind of steered you to like, oh no, girl, don't do this, don't do that, that you might look back and be like, man, I could have did it this way?
I would say no. I don't have people around me that discourage me from doing certain things in business. And I'm grateful for that because I know other people do. But I think people around me also, even if they were that type of person, they would know not to tell me that I'm not capable of, so like, you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
I don't see anybody doing that that knows me personally.
Okay, that's great.
um but I will say I did have a lot of encouragement, and that came from not just like, not really my closest family circle, but really my business coaches.
Okay.
So I joined this organization. The name of the business is called Traffic Sales and Profit, but they are Black billionaires. And so they have these three different tiers. I was at the lowest tier, but it's called TSP Propel. And so it's to propel you into making at least $100,000 a year. So you pay this monthly fee. Then they have TSP Mastermind, which is that second level. So those are between 100,000 and I believe 300,000 or something like that. I don't remember that exact number. And then they have TSP Collaborative, and those are the people who are like 7 and 8 figure business owners.
Okay.
Uh, but it's Black people. They're Black coaches. They have a team of Black coaches. The wife is the chief operations officer. The husband is the chief executive officer, and they're dope. They have a family, and they just represent what um, Christian values and economic values and just good business looks like, and they really operate with integrity. So they have these different classes that they do that you can take. They have an event called TSP Live that they do every year. And so I speak on them a lot because a lot of the encouragement that I've had has come from that entrepreneurial community. It can be very isolating to be an entrepreneur and not have a business coach or not have a community of individuals who are in business as well. When you have people around you, everybody's working, so they're not always going to encourage you to pursue business. They may not say anything to discourage you from doing it, but it may be like, girl, you brave. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know if I could do that, right? And so it is a completely different world depending on yourself, depending on yourself to get the clientele, to market, to do your social media. And so that's part of the reason why I offer the services that I do with my agency, is to make sure like those people who need that second hand in their business have it.
Okay, that's great. I like that. So my next question, you kind of answered it already, but how can people get in touch with you or, get incorporated with you and everything that you have to offer to us as entrepreneurs?
So they can go directly through my website. It's join.mompreneur academy.biz. If they have any questions first before they actually schedule their first service, which is a brand assessment, that is a $247 service, but I always say it brings you $1 million worth of clarity because we break down your marketing, we break down your current strategy for implementing artificial intelligence. And that's a fancy term. They call it integration when you're integrating AI into your brand. But I also look at what are your current goals for the business and where would you realistically like to be in the next 90 days, right? And so we have that conversation. From there, I create a plan with you. And so some people We do the brand assessment and they say, you know what, I think me and my team can implement this plan independently. I don't think I'm going to need a project manager to support me. And then other people are like, okay, I don't really have a team. And so I'm definitely going to need a project manager to help me do this. And so that's when I funnel them into my done for you services. And so that's the first thing that everyone would schedule would be a brand assessment. But that just helps me get a good idea of what's happening in your business right now and then helping you create a strategy to get to the next level. So essentially, you're paying for that strategy. If they decide to move forward with project management services, then I will apply that $247 to their first month of service.
Okay. All right. That sounds great. That's awesome. I mean, you do have a lot of things that help me with my business and get me on the right track and everything. I just need to get the brand assessment going on and everything like that. But I'm grateful that I met you because your spirit and just you're alone. I don't know if it's just the power of your voice or your thought process, but it just really helps to just put everything in order. So that's what I like. Even from the first time that we had the conversation on the phone. So from this point going into 2026, what are you really focusing on more? Is it more AI to help people with that, or do you kind of have a vision for your next step?
1,000%. So I've been working on my 2026 goals for like a month.
Hmm.
And I actually just posted a video yesterday of like the time lapse that I created this week. And it's just me like writing down goals. It's me on my laptop, typing them into my Google Drive, like really just honing in on all of the things I want to see for myself. And I didn't just put business goals up there. I also put some personal things like things I want to do with my house and how I want
Hmm.
to arrange it and just the ambiance that I'm going for. But to answer your question about the business side, my focus is going to be AI integration, but it's really also going to be education around AI, ethics, how to use it safely. A lot of people are afraid of AI. They don't know what to expect from it. They're like, I don't know if I want to use it. Some people feel like AI is evil and they're like, it just makes them completely avoid it.
Okay.
But AI is not the future, it is the now. I always say that. And so I'm like, you need to know how to utilize these things, especially if you have children, because a lot of the times people's kids are utilizing different methods of technology. They're using all these apps. They're, helping themselves with like schoolwork and things like that. And parents don't know what they have access to. And they also, if you are not abreast of technology and how the world is changing, you can't help your kids navigate that space either, right?
Hmm.
And so I do an AI for your business workshop once a month. The next one that I'm hosting, I believe that date is January the 15th. It's the third Thursday in January. So I think it's the 1st, the 8th, and the 15th. Yeah. So it'll be that third Thursday in January. It is virtual and that is on Google Meet. And so I just have an hour-long workshop. I go over 6 different AI tools that they can utilize in their business, and I also do a Q&A so that I can make it specific to their business type. So I've had people who were beauticians, I've had people who were coaches and consultants, I've had people who wanted to open up a nonprofit. I've had people who were authors and they didn't know how to utilize AI for their marketing. So I'm literally giving them advice about, okay, this is how you use AI to create a marketing plan. This is how you use AI to help you with a strategy for your social media, right? And those are two completely different things. Social media marketing is one facet of marketing, and you can absolutely do Facebook and Instagram ads and all of those things. But on the other side of that, marketing can be flyers. Marketing can be a tour that you go on to go talk to different classrooms and different businesses about services that you offer. Marketing can be a webinar that you have already pre recorded and you just post it, and you're funneling people into that webinar for free so that you can offer a service at the end of that, right? So there's so many different ways to market in this digital space. And I know it's like, a lot of information for people to absorb. So
Mm-hmm.
in that 1 hour, I just do the 6 tools. I teach them what the tools are, how to use them, their functionality, how it's being like upgraded in real time. And this is how you use it for your specific business type so that you can save time and money in your business. And also, it prevents people from hiring the wrong people. I mean, I know I've definitely hired people to do certain things, and it was like, you know what? That is something that took a little bit off my plate, but I wish I would have found somebody for this. Or I
Mm-hmm.
wish I would have known at least how to utilize this platform before I just hired somebody else to take over. And so I'm just very keen on education. No matter if you decide to hire someone later on down the line, that's perfectly fine. But have a general knowledge of the tools that you're utilizing, because that's going to put these other businesses at an advantage, whereas you will be at a disadvantage if you're doing everything alone. If you're the
Yeah.
only one thinking for the business, if you're the only one creating for the business, it doesn't put you in a position of power. But there are business owners rather, who are leveraging artificial intelligence, and it's cutting that staff in half drastically. They
Mm-hmm.
have an AI person for their marketing, they have an AI for operations, they have an AI tool for social media. Like they're just, this is their whole team, and it's all AI. And then, of course, you have people like me as a project manager where you may believe in the AI, you may want to use it, but you're like, I don't have time to oversee all of these different tools.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get somebody in place who they can put the tools together for me. They can teach me how to use it, and then they can make sure that it's working properly so that when my clients come to this internet space, when they visit my website, they get where they need to go. I know it's running seamlessly and smoothly. So, the overall idea of my project management services are, how do I create systems for your business that make the most sense?
Okay.
One of my most useful tools, and then I'll pause for the cause, is my scheduling tool. So, Calendly is what I use. They have an AI note taker. And so, that AI note taker literally records your session for you just like you would on a Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
It takes notes and like summarizes your conversation. It summarizes your next steps. And I remember like one of our recent meetings, my AI note taker was present. I was able to email you the notes after the session, but it also came with a recording that you can play. So I literally click a button. It says, "Hi, thank you for meeting with me today." Right? Like all of that is auto generated by AI. And I forgot that this existed, but I had a meeting with someone else last week, and my AI tool, like I have some automations in place. So there's an automation after the meeting that tells them, "Hey, thank you so much for coming. Let me know if you have any questions." And someone responded to that email and said, "Thank you. I definitely will reach out if I have questions." I
Yeah.
forgot that that email was even going out, but it adds that personal touch to your brand
Mm-hmm.
that just makes a world of difference, that you're checking in on your clients. And so being able to lock that in and not even thinking about it is amazing. But that is one of my literal favorite things. And also the AI tool, once people go on your link and book, you're automatically on my calendar. You automatically receive a text message. You automatically receive an email
Mm-hmm.
confirming your appointment. Then 24 hours before your appointment, you'll get another email that says, "Hey, this is a reminder," and then you can confirm whether or not you will be there. So then being able to confirm their attendance is helpful, because maybe something comes up,
Mm-hmm.
you have to go out of town impromptu, and then you're able to say, "Okay, let me go ahead and reschedule." And you can do that through the link. So you
Okay.
don't have to reach out to me, where I remember a time where I had to manually create a Zoom link. I had to manually email it to everyone. I had to manually follow up and say, "Hey, are you showing up today?" Right? Like, and I don't have to do any of that. So look at how much time
Yeah.
that has saved me with just implementing just a simple AI integration tool that handles my scheduling for me.
That's great. It made me feel like very important when I was getting the emails from you, getting the and then I said, oh. I could watch the video. So I'm like a little kid in the candy store. I'm like, I'm like, yeah. So that is very helpful, when you have your own business, people need to know those things, and that's a great thing that you're offering because me, I'm kind of on the fence about AI a little bit, just like, what is all this about, but I think that's
Mhm.
just because of what we hear, all the negativity, and we really don't have the resources to know what AI is capable of doing for our businesses.
A
So
thousand
that's great.
percent.
Mhm.
Yes, and I'm so glad you said that. I'm gonna make a note to myself about that because you're right. There are a lot of negative things online about AI, but AI for businesses versus what people are using AI for on the internet is totally different. Like AI is creating systems for business owners. AI is saving us time and saving us money. It's helping us build better relationships with our clients. Like you just said, you felt special, receiving all those emails and having that experience where you're like, wow, I can go back and play the video. I have my notes. Like it helps you keep everything together. Even if you're sometimes you go to a meeting and you just have a lot on your mind and you're like, I'm not gonna remember all the value that was added in that space, but when you can go back and watch the video, that makes a world of difference.
Mhm.
So but what you see with AI online right now is they are impersonating people and they're creating scenarios that didn't exist,
Yeah.
and they are, it's scary because you're like, wow, it looks just like this person but it's not them. And
Mhm.
so then you're worrying about, okay, well, are they going to take my likeness and put it out there?
Yes.
Then you hear about humanoids, which are bots that actually look like people or are
Mhm.
supposed to mimic people. And so they have like a silicon fleshly skin in the back. You can see that it's a robot, but they're moving around and they're cleaning houses. And this is what they're trying to have. Like you can have a robot as a cleaner of your home, and they're
Mhm.
picking up your clothes and they're folding them. And like that freaks me out. I don't really want
Yeah.
a robot in my house. So to your point, like I love artificial intelligence, but it's levels, right? And
Mhm.
so I don't want to just welcome any old entity into my home, but I'm also very mindful that like AI has its benefits and this is how
Mhm.
it can benefit you. So that's why I specifically hone in on AI for your business and not, oh, this is how you create an AI twin, or this is how like, and I have nothing against AI twins or what people want to use for content. I
Yeah.
just personally prefer to do my own content and not use AI tools for that, like my an AI likeness. I've played with some of the videos and I was just like, this is not for me.
Yeah, I get it. That's what I said too. I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I want to be. I don't know. I don't know really about it, but I'm open to it because I see how it can open up doors for your business, how things become light. And you're not stressful of doing everything. And that's where I would like to get to, where I'm not. I could delegate stuff out to people what I need done, and really be like, okay, that takes the pressure off. So. I'm kind of excited to be connecting with you, and all the things that you offer as far as my business aspect, my marketing aspect. I mean, just everything. I just got to get myself positioned, but I know it's going to happen. So, is there anything else that you would like to share with this podcast? We're just getting started, or any of the women or families or anything, so that they, you know, I don't know, feel wanted or are just open to share with anything.
Sure. So, what I would say, because I absolutely love women, I love moms, just take care of yourself. We do so many things for our families. I know my home is becoming one of those hubs where like Christmas dinner was at my house this year instead of my mom's. Like, so I'm moving up to that level where it's like I'm starting to have more family events here, and I'm cooking and I'm having to clean up and just enjoying all of the festivities and doing all the planning that goes into it and all the grocery shopping, and I love it. But we can get so bogged down, especially during the holiday season, that we're not being mindful that this is a season of rest.
Mhm.
This is a time where we should be slowing down. We should be reflecting on our year. And oftentimes, I was just listening to an audio on YouTube yesterday. It was talking about like 10 habits that you can adopt that will rewire your mind. And one of them was about overconsumption.
Mm.
And so that means like, there's a term called doom scrolling when you're just scrolling and you're not being mindful of everything that you're taking in. You're just kind of scrolling on Instagram, watching all the videos, and that is overwhelming to the nervous system. To
Mm.
sit there and do that for hours, it's overwhelming to like binge a show. And I've been binge watching this show on Tubi lately. Now I'm on like the fourth season. This is the last season, the third episode, and I was just watching it, but I heard that and I'm like, you know what? You're right. Consuming something for an hour, being entertained, like it's okay to be entertained. It's okay for us to have our indulgences, but we have to set boundaries for ourselves. We
Mm.
can't just scroll on social media. We can't just watch TV mindlessly, even in that rest period, because what is it doing to you psychologically? How can
Mhm.
you slow down? Even for my kids, I will go, if they've been watching TV for an hour or two, I'm like, all right, babies, let's go play. Let's go do something different. And I love how, even like when I take my kids to the drop in daycare, sometimes they're like, your kids, I haven't seen kids that like playing with toys in a long time. Like you have kids that actually play with toys. We don't have tablets in our house. Um, but they actually enjoy playing with each other and they can play with other people and they can, make characters move or, pretend that they're eating pizza, like
Yeah.
really cool things like that. And I love that for them. I love that for myself that I've created a culture in my home where we're not always focused on screen time.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like that. That's one of my things that I like, even with my babysitting thing. My babysitting thing that I have at home is so much practical life thing, practical life skills. They would come bring me lunch, dinner, and tell me, "No, you can't have no meat," and I'm like, "Why not?" And they would explain it. So I love that. What you've done, created with your kids and everything. So, I'm just going to wrap it up. Now, unless there's anything else that you would like to discuss or anything like that, I appreciate you for sharing. I thank you for being a part of my first opportunity with my podcast. I could look at different things that I could work on to build it to make it better. But I offer this for the women to speak or have an opportunity to share, or they just need to release or talk. I'm not no doctor or anything like that, but I just feel like people need to be able to communicate with other people and get other ideas. So that's what I'm shooting for. That's my goal. So I would love to have the opportunity, maybe a couple more times. We could discuss some other things that we could discuss to help our women. And hopefully, with the AI brand and your businesses and everything that you're doing, it's going to be a prosperous year for you this year.
Thank you.
And I just thank you. And I thank you for coming into my life too.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you for having me, and I definitely welcome the idea of coming back. I know you wanted to speak on some topics specifically for moms at some point. So, yes, definitely invite me back. Just let me know when, and I'll be here.
All righty. Well, thank you so much. And you have a great day, okay?
You
And
too. Thank
let me
you.
know if you get everything, receive everything, and then I'll just see what I could do to follow up so you could get it on your videos and your podcast or your other things that you have going on.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. That sounds
Okay.
like a plan.
All righty. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.